You have 1 second to decide. A billion people are watching. Sometimes, one whistle changes football forever. A handball becomes a goal. Maradona's hand of God stands. A perfectly legitimate goal is denied. Frank Lampard's strike in 2010 never counts. One decision, remembered for decades, not because of the players, but because of the referee. One call makes you a hero to one nation and the villain to another. One side celebrates, the other demands justice. Then the real storm begins. Social media explodes. Sports channels replay your decision over and over again, dissecting every frame from every possible angle, asking how you could have missed something that only became obvious after slow-motion replay. Welcome to the high-stakes, soul-crushing life of a FIFA World Cup referee. While players dream of lifting the golden trophy and becoming legends, referees have a much humbler and arguably much harder goal: survive 90 minutes without becoming the headline. But in football's biggest tournament, that's almost impossible. Every 4 years, the world stops for the FIFA World Cup. It isn't just another sporting event, it's one of the biggest spectacles on earth. Entire nations pause. Families gather around televisions. Friends stay awake through the night. Billions of people watch every pass, every tackle, every goal. But while everyone watches the players, almost nobody notices the person holding the whistle until something goes wrong. Then suddenly, they're the only person anyone talks about. Becoming a World Cup referee isn't just a career, it's a decades-long journey through pressure, criticism, and relentless evaluation. You don't simply wake up one morning and officiate football's biggest match. Most referees spend 20 years climbing through local leagues, professional competitions, continental tournaments, and international qualifiers, thousands of matches, tens of thousands of decisions, and every single one matters. Unlike players, they don't sign massive sponsorship deals. Kids don't buy jerseys with a referee's name on the back. In fact, the perfect referee is almost invisible. If nobody remembers your name after the final whistle, you've probably done your job perfectly. Ironically, that's exactly why referees usually become famous only when something goes wrong. Now imagine standing in the middle of a packed World Cup stadium. 80,000 fans surround you. The ground vibrates beneath your feet. 22 of the world's best footballers are moving at incredible speed. Every tackle, every offside, every handball, every dive, every confrontation happens in a split second, and somehow you're expected to see all of it. Fans often shout, "How did the referee miss that?" The answer is simple. Football isn't played from a television camera. Fans have slow-motion replays. Commentators have dozens of camera angles. VAR officials can zoom in frame by frame. The referee gets one view, one angle, one chance, usually less than a second to make a decision. Imagine driving through heavy traffic while someone asks you to memorize the license plate of every passing car. That's what refereeing a World Cup match feels like, except instead of cars, 22 elite athletes are sprinting around you. Miss one crucial moment, and an entire nation may blame you for years. Making the decision is only half the battle. The harder job is controlling the people. Professional football is built on emotion. One tackle can change a tournament. One missed penalty can break a nation's heart. When emotions explode, the referee becomes far more than an official. They become a psychologist, a negotiator, a peacekeeper, and sometimes a punching bag. When a superstar player is screaming inches from your face, you have to remain calm, always, because the moment the referee loses control, the match begins to lose control too. And here's the frightening part: confidence is your only shield. Because the moment players sense uncertainty, they stop respecting your authority. Every throw-in becomes an argument, every foul becomes a debate, every decision becomes another opportunity to pressure you. Even if you're secretly wondering whether you just made the biggest mistake of your career, you can never show it. That enormous mental pressure is why some referees become part of football history, not because they wanted to, but because one decision changed everything. Think about some of football's most famous refereeing controversies: the hand of God. Frank Lampard's disallowed goal in 2010. These moments didn't just influence matches, they became part of football history. For fans, they're unforgettable moments. For referees, they're reminders that 1 second can define an entire career. You might think technology solved this problem. After all, VR was introduced to eliminate mistakes, but in many ways, it made the job even harder. Before VR, a missed decision was simply called human error. Today, every decision is examined under a microscope. VR didn't remove the pressure, it simply moved the goalposts. If a referee changes the decision, some fans say they're weak. If they don't, others say they're stubborn. Either way, someone leaves believing justice wasn't served, because football isn't black and white. Was there enough contact? Was the handball deliberate? Did the attacker go down too easily, even after watching slow motion from multiple angles? Different experts still disagree, yet only one opinion actually changes the game, the referees, and the pressure doesn't end when the match does. Players return to the dressing room, fans celebrate or mourn, commentators move on to the next game. But referees, they spend hours reviewing every important decision. Then come the headlines, the television debates, the social media clips, millions of viewers analyzing every mistake. Many people also forget something surprising. Elite referees often run almost as much as midfielders. They sprint, change direction, backpedal, stay close to every attack, and unlike players, they never get substituted. When you're exhausted, your positioning suffers, and poor positioning leads to poor decisions. That's why elite referees train almost every day, not to look athletic, but to make sure that even in the 89th minute, their mind is still sharp enough to make the biggest decision of the tournament. Imagine working in a profession where almost nobody wants you to succeed. Fans don't buy tickets to watch the referee, they come to watch their team win. The moment a decision goes against them, you're the enemy. Half the stadium boos, the other half cheers, only because the decision helped them. There's an old saying among referees, if both teams are angry with you, you probably had a fair game. But perhaps the hardest challenge is treating every player exactly the same. Whether it's a young substitute or the biggest superstar in world football, the rules cannot change. Imagine showing a red card to one of the world's most famous players during a World Cup knockout match. Within minutes, the entire world is debating your decision. Your name trends everywhere. Some people praise you, others attack you. Yet you still have to make that call, because football depends on one simple idea. The rules must apply equally to everyone. So, why would anyone choose this career? Why willingly accept constant criticism, unbelievable pressure, and almost no recognition? Because despite everything, many referees genuinely love football, not for fame, not for fortune, but because they believe someone has to protect the game. Without referees, there is no fair competition, no World Cup, no champions. Every unforgettable moment in football history happened because someone in the middle made sure the game could actually be played. They don't score the winning goal, they don't lift the trophy, their names rarely appear in highlight reels, yet without them, those highlights would never exist. So the next time you watch a World Cup match, take a moment to watch the person holding the whistle. Notice how they sprint to stay close to every challenge. Watch how they calm furious players. See how they make impossible decisions while 80,000 people scream around them. You may still disagree with some of their calls. That's football. But remember this, every whistle carries enormous responsibility. Every decision can shape memories for generations. Every referee walks onto that pitch knowing one truth. If they do everything perfectly, nobody remembers their name, but one human mistake can become football history. And that is exactly why it sucks to be a World Cup referee. If you enjoyed seeing football from a perspective most people think about, subscribe to Born for Misery. Every week we explore the hidden struggles behind the people, positions, and roles that make the beautiful game possible. And tell us in the comments who should suffer next.